what comes between hooking and closing, or hooking and pulling? So if you were to go back to old school pickup theory, we had a model back in the day, we called it 5-point escalation. Actually, if you look at my manifesto, it follows this model as well. But the format is open, hook, emotional connection, physical connection, and then close. So it's like 5 steps, right? Open, hook, emotional connection, physical connection, close. And so obviously what's going on between hooking and closing is connection. And what that really comes from is the fact that a girl, in order to sleep with you, needs value and comfort. Look at it in terms of evolution. She needs a guy who will give her good genetics, but she also needs a guy who's not going to leave her stranded with a baby on the savannah. So she wants to make sure that you'll stick around, that you're like a loyal or ethical person, and also that you have some level of like attachment for her, or you believe she's special in some way, because that's really how they evaluate, you know, whether you prioritize them and a kid. So that's what they're looking for. The value part can come pretty quickly. Like, they can get attracted to you quickly. Anybody who's ever done instant makeouts will know that. Anybody who's ever seen how fast you can get physical, if you ever come to a hot seat and see how fast instructors get physical, you'll know that attraction is easy, right? Value and attraction are closely related. That's the easy part in that sense. But the comfort part, that takes time. And the reason for that is, what is comfort? What is comfort? If you were to try and define the word comfort, it's very hard to do, right? People will say, like, comfort is feeling safe, which isn't a definition, it's a synonym. Or they'll say comfort is being relaxed, another synonym. Or the people will be like, oh, I don't know what it is, but I just know what it is when I feel it. There's that. The best definition you can actually give for comfort is this. Comfort is a lack of discomfort, right? Comfort doesn't exist per se. It's the absence of something. It's like the metaphor I always give is, if you go to the gym and you get sore muscles, you know what sore muscles feel like. But what does a non-sore muscle feel like? What does a normal muscle feel like? And the answer is, it just feels normal. It doesn't feel like anything. And so why is a non-sore muscle your normal state of being? It's because you've spent most of the time in your life with your muscles not being sore. It's the same kind of thing with comfort. The way you build comfort is for a girl to spend a lot of time with you, excuse me, without you making her uncomfortable. And if you do that, she'll feel comfortable. So that's the whole key thing. It's not about doing anything like strikingly amazing to build comfort. It's about not doing anything bad over a period of time. And so comfort, you know, by its nature is time. So what you're doing between hooking and closing technically is spending time with a girl. Now, there are things you can do that will make that time count for more and kind of go faster. So, I mean, you could put in hours and hours and hours just talking like small talk with a girl, and eventually, if you put enough time with her, she'll be comfortable. But if instead you talk about yourself, talk about her, get to know her, talk about what she's passionate about, and make it a more intimate conversation, that time will sort of count for more because it's more intimate time. If you go to different venues, every single venue makes it appear that you've been together longer. If you've hung out with her and talked in 5 places instead of 1, even if the same amount of time has passed, it feels as though more time has passed. And so essentially you're getting effectively more bang for your buck on time. So that's a pretty easy way to do it as well. But anything like that, if you have commonalities. If you, for example, I played soccer growing up. If I find out a girl plays soccer, she's now in a category of a lot of people that I knew and was friends with growing up. And for that reason, I'm going to associate her that way. And it makes me feel more comfortable with her. It makes me feel like we have more things to talk about, etc. And the last is if you have a combination of what we call wide and deep rapport. Deep rapport is talking very intimately on one particular subject that you're passionate about. Wide rapport is talking about a lot of different subjects. And you can see how this is kind of important, because think about who you'd want to have a follow-up conversation with. If you talked about like tons and tons of different small talk topics with someone, you'd kind of be okay having another conversation with them, because you'd be like, okay, well, at least we always have something to say to each other. It's interesting banter. But there's no real depth there. You're not really deeply motivated. Whereas if you had like a really deep conversation with someone about one particular thing, like maybe you're into, I don't know, scuba diving, and you talk really deeply about scuba diving, well, you're going to want to see that person, she'll be emotionally connected, but at the same time, you're going to look to that conversation and think, oh my god, are we just going to talk about scuba diving for like 6 hours? And that might demotivate you. So that's another thing you can do. But what you're essentially doing between is building comfort, and that's how you do it. Comfort is done through time without discomfort, and ideally through quality time. The better the quality of time, the more rich the time, whether it be in venue changes or intimate experiences or that combination of wide and deep rapport, that will make it happen faster.